I'm Dwayne Brown. Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, some teachers in the South Bay may be walking the picket lines this week. Coast Guard shows off a big haul of cocaine seized at sea, while California's Attorney General announces a new effort to crack down on meth.
Also ahead, Escondido's top mayoral candidates tell us where they stand on immigration, property owner rights, and more. I'm Peggy Pico with that conversation. And a sister's 14-year search for her missing brother leads to a John Doe on life support in Coronado. The unidentified man is one of 4,000 people in California kept alive by machines in special nursing homes.
Scene 14, Baker, take 6.
Hail, Thane of Fife.
And we'll meet an East County filmmaker aiming for a spot at the Sundance Film Festival with his modern-day take on Macbeth. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Hi, good evening. Thanks for joining us. Tomorrow is back to school day for students at San Ysidro Elementary, but the teachers are on the verge tonight of a strike. KPBS education reporter Matt Bowler joins us from the newsroom with the story. Matt?
The district and the teachers are preparing for a possible strike this week. Teachers are removing personal items from their classroom, and the district has hired security guards. San Ysidro School District Superintendent George Cameron told me the district needs to cut teachers' salary by 6.5% unless teachers take a deal the district offered. Cameron says the deal is no salary reductions, shorter school year, drops from 180 to 175, 5 days of professional development for teachers, and full-time kindergarten day. Currently, the kindergarten classes in the San Ysidro School District are part-time. But the union says the district is offering a package deal with several changes that will negatively affect students, like class size. Union membership overwhelmingly rejected the offer. The union and the district are back at the negotiating table tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. But both sides say they're ready for a strike. Matt Bowler, KPBS News.
California's getting a $1 million federal grant to create a new team of anti-meth agents. State Attorney General Kamala Harris says California is the largest point of entry for methamphetamine, with 70% coming through the San Diego port of entry. The new team of 6 special agents will work with existing task forces across the state. Well, take a look at this. 28,000 pounds of cocaine, all seized by one Coast Guard cutter, the Boutwell. All these bundles are the result of 18 separate raids. Coast Guard says it's a significant blow to drug trafficking in the area. All this cocaine is valued at more than $400 million. Today, a city council committee got its first official look at an audit of the attempt to create a year-long centennial celebration at Balboa Park. After spending $1.6 million, the volunteers passed the event back to the city because of a lack of sponsors. Now, the audit says the group did not misuse any city money, but didn't always follow city procedures. Councilman Scott Sherman says future city contracts will need more accountability. He says the centennial should have been a source of pride for San Diego, but instead became a comedy of errors. Today is the first day of early voting for the November election. Voters who are ready to cast their ballots early can drop them off at the county registrar in Kearney Mesa. Right now, the polls are open Monday through Friday. You can find more information at sdvote.com. New state campaign finance reports are also out. Governor Jerry Brown has nearly $24 million in the bank for his reelection campaign, while his Republican challenger Neil Kashkari has $680,000 left. Kashkari has spent almost $5 million so far, while Brown has spent a mere $400,000. In Escondido, voters will decide next month who will be the next mayor. Peggy Pico talks with 2 of the top candidates.
Joining me is Escondido incumbent Mayor Sam Abed and Deputy City Mayor Olga Diaz. Welcome to Evening Edition.
Thank you.
Now, Olga, what are the top 3 issues you're running on?
There's so many, but I really want to focus on infrastructure, including securing water access for our community. We have a Lake Wolford Dam to upgrade. We have a reclaimed water project that we need to complete. Transparency in government. I have 10 measures that I'll be posting on my website at the end of the week that include my plan for how we're going to make local government more transparent in Escondido. And of course, community involvement, civic engagement. I'm a big proponent of having people participate in every decision, not just on election day, but throughout the year.
And Mayor Abbott, how about you? What are your top 3 issues?
The same issues that I ran for mayor and city council for: neighborhood improvement, public safety, financial stability, and economic development. We have delivered almost 100% of our promises. Actually, Councilmember Diaz's priorities have been achieved, and we are working on them as well.
And the same ones. Now, voters are going to decide on Proposition H come November. If approved, it will allow a private owner to build a large number of homes on his former golf course. It was a golf course. It's now a former golf course, which is nearby homeowners oppose in favor of open space. I'll start with you, Mayor Abed. You're pro-business. Yes. You have supported the right of private property owners, but you changed your position on this from keeping it open space to now being neutral. How come?
Because we need to have a solution for the country club area. You know, this is not a vacant land. This is an open space that has been designated to mitigate the density. But we understand that we need to find a solution for that. Yes, I think it's a bit dense right now. There should be more balance between amenities and the number of homes, and also respect the property rights of the residents and not build in front of their front yard for the homes on the fairway. So I think we have to find solution there, and I think that's why I want to leave it up to the voters. And after the election, I'm going to sit with both the developers and the country club residents and the city to find a solution. There's always be a solution for that problem.
And Olga, you also voted along with the city council to declare the area as open space, but now you're actually supporting the developer on the issue. Why the change?
Well, the entire council voted to adopt the initiative put forth by residents to declare it open space, but we also knew that it would end up in court. So legally, our options were adopt it or put it on the ballot, and we saw very little, productive use of that amount of time and money to air it out that way. Long story short, the proposal that is on the table now, Proposition H, is the compromise project, and it was put together, crafted through community meetings, polling. This is, in fact, what the residents of Escondido have also supported, as evidenced by all the signatures that were collected to qualify this also for the ballot. I've read the entire initiative, and there's very little to object to. It reduces the overall number of homes. It adds some community amenities, including a pool, a community center, trails, parks, tennis courts. This may be the best offer we see.
And we have to move on from this subject, so I want to move on to immigration. Now, Mayor Abed, you opposed to opening an immigration shelter in Escondido, and during your time as mayor, some might say that you brought negative publicity to the city as unwelcoming to Latinos. What is your stand on immigration?
I disagree with your statement that we're unwelcoming to Latinos. That's not true. We have embraced the Latinos in our city. We have embraced everybody who is in our city. But yes, we have got a positive feedback about that we are a city under the rule of law. I am an immigrant. I'm a proud immigrant coming to this country, and I want to help all the immigrants to assimilate, be a part of the American dream, come to the mainstream government and mainstream economy. That's why I'm proudly endorsed by the Latino American Political Association, the biggest advocacy group to bring those Latino population and be successful, realize the American dream.
So you don't think the shelter was a negative mark for the city?
Two things. The shelter decision by the Planning Commission is based on land use. There is another debate that we can talk about, immigration. I don't think it's fair for the legal immigrant who came to this city to bring more illegal immigrants, because I think it's going to dilute the American dream.
Okay, and we do have to end it there, because I want to ask you, Olga, as well. You're the first Latina to serve on the Escondido City Council. You're a Democrat in a city of a majority of Republicans. Beyond Latinos, where are you getting your support?
I've been elected twice in the city in spite of being a Democrat and being the first Latina and being an environmentalist and a feminist. All of these things have never caused me to lose the last couple of elections at large. So local politics are nonpartisan, and the appeal that each candidate has is really significantly based on personal relationships that we have with businesses, with residents, issues that we've fought for. So I'm very comfortable representing a community that is deemed to be conservative but has always embraced me.
Another initiative on the ballot, Proposition G, would make Escondido a charter city. Briefly, tell me if you support it and why.
I do not. I think the document that would become the new constitution for the city is poorly crafted. It didn't have a lot of community feedback, and quite frankly, having a general law city status creates some legal bumpers for us in terms of how we operate our city.
Let me get the mayor's viewpoint on that. Do you support it?
I champion Proposition G because it's good for our local government. It gives power to the residents and the voters of the city. We have left the anti-bell outside the charter to avoid these problems. So we get the best of the charter city. Two things will give us more home rule to govern our city, and also to protect the taxpayers, because we will be able to eliminate the prevailing wages.
And we have to end on this. You each have about 15 seconds to answer this. I'll start with you, Mayor. Why do you want another term as mayor?
I am very proud of our achievement. We have turned the city around. We have a balanced budget, financial stability. Our bond rating has improved to AA, the second best bond rating you can get. We have created $500 million of investment in Escondido and created over 1,000 jobs, and we are improving public safety in our city, and we're going to focus on our neighborhoods.
And let's give a chance to Olga here to wrap it up here. Escondido doesn't have a strong mayor form of government, meaning you'll still be one of only 5 votes on the council. In a sentence, why would you like to be mayor versus just staying on the city council?
I think I can set a more positive tone for how the city is led. Again, the mayor is the most visible person in the community to do that. I'm bilingual, I communicate effectively, I'm articulate, I can synthesize a lot of complicated information and communicate that to the public, and I'd be very proud to serve as the mayor of Escondido.
All right, Deputy Mayor Olga Diaz and Mayor Sam Abed, thank you so much. I want to let folks know that we have more on all of the November elections at our website, kpbs.org/election.
San Diego-based CareFusion is getting bought by one of its rivals for more than $12 billion. The buyer is Becton Dickinson and Company, or BD, of New Jersey. Both companies make medical devices. BD says it will maintain an active presence in San Diego, but there's no decision on what the deal means for CareFusion's workers here. There's also no word on the fate of workers at Hewlett-Packard's Rancho Bernardo office. The company is splitting in two. One of the new companies will focus on the personal computer and printing business, the other on technology services. Our media partner, iNewsSource, has been investigating California's subacute nursing facilities, homes where people are kept alive by machines, sometimes for years. One of those homes is in Coronado. Earlier, Peggy Pico found out the local home may be the end of one woman's long search for her brother.
A woman in Texas believes her missing brother may be a John Doe who has been in a Coronado nursing home on life support for the past 14 years. The man was severely brain injured in a car accident near the U.S.-Mexico border. The woman saw this old news clip on YouTube a couple months ago.
Los médicos le salvaron la vida, pero cayó en estado de coma. Despertó hace poco, pero fue como si no lo hubiera hecho. No habla, está paralizado.
This story is about a young man who was brain injured in a car accident near the U.S.-Mexican border. He spent a year in a San Diego hospital, according to this news report, and he is in a vegetative state and is unable to respond to anyone around him. iNewsSource reporter Joanne Farian broke the story and joins me now. Joanne, how did this woman come across this YouTube video?
Well, it really was just happenstance. Her cousin showed it to her a couple months ago, and she thinks she recognized him. She says he appears to be her brother.
And who is this woman?
So her name is Yolanda Ibarra Lara. She lives in Texas. Once she saw this video, immediately she was able to track him down actually to a nursing home, the young man in this video. At the time that her brother went missing, he would have been about 19 years old. The last she heard from him, he's a Mexican citizen, that he was going to try to cross the border with a group of others. That's the last time she heard from him. She sees this video now 14 years later. brother, looks like her brother. She got in touch with the Mexican consulate to try and help her identify whether, in fact, this boy in the video is her brother.
Does she know what happened to him? Any idea?
Well, no. The last that she knew, she thought he had made it to Laredo, Texas, but then no one heard from him. So if, in fact, he is this young man in the video, what she does know is that the man in the video was transferred to a long-term nursing home, Villa Coronado. Now, your audience might know that last week we were profiling people who live on life support in that nursing facility. Most of the people there are in an unresponsive state. They're on breathing and feeding tubes. The nursing home won't give us information about this man.
Was my next question.
Because of privacy laws. They can't tell us anything. All we know, all we know is that they would confirm that a young man, or they didn't even say young, that a man was transferred from the UCSD trauma unit 14 years ago to their nursing home, and he is in fact a John Doe.
If this young man is her brother and he was crossing into the U.S. illegally, can he stay here now?
Well, that's a really good question. So first of all, I asked Yolanda that, right? The woman who may in fact be his sister, and she said, you know what, I know I'm taking a risk with regard to immigration by saying, hey, what if he's my brother? But she goes, it's you know, what's worse, knowing that he's alone and sick somewhere? I was in contact with the state, and the state does say that there are special provisions within services that allow for undocumented immigrants to actually be in long-term care. So it's an unknown right now.
It's unknown. Would there be a possibility of him having to be deported?
Well, what is, if this woman is in fact his sister, what she says, if this is her brother, then her mother, who lives in Mexico, would want to care for him, that they would want to bring him home and care for him.
All right. Now, you reported on life support patients in nursing homes in a special, amazing series last week. Are there other Jane and John Does?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are more than 4,000 men, women, and children living on life support in these special units in California nursing homes. What we do know from the state of California is that 8 of them are, in fact, Jane and John Doe. 7 men, 1 woman. That means nobody knows who they are, and they've been living on these units.
When will Yolanda know or be able to find out if this is indeed her brother?
Well, she says every day is a long day now, waiting to find out. She sent the Mexican consulate here in San Diego her brother's military ID from Mexico, and it has his photo and his fingerprints. The consulate, in turn, has been working with the officials from the nursing home to try and find out if the fingerprints match. Again, the nursing home won't go into a lot of detail. They tell us they're still reviewing documents. They don't know at this time whether it's a positive ID.
All right, so I'm sure you will keep us up to date on this because we'll want to know. iNews Source reporter Joanne Farian, thank you so much for this amazing story.
Thanks, Peggy.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next news hour, the Islamic State group's brutal treatment of women. That's Monday on the PBS NewsHour.
This was supposed to be a romantic hot air balloon ride on the North County coast, but the couple ended up taking an unplanned swim near Cardiff Reef. Eric Barreto had just proposed to his fiancée last night when the balloon ran into trouble. The couple swam ashore and surfers helped bring the balloon in. By the way, she did say yes. Whew. A rare gathering of flamingo experts from around the world are meeting in San Diego this week. Zookeepers and conservationists, as well as researchers from 11 different countries, are in town. San Diego's Safari Park has the largest population of flamingos in North America. The conference is focusing on their social nature, breeding, and behavior in zoo enclosures.
And flamingos are charismatic. People recognize them. They're in children's books. They're in plastic ornaments in people's front yards. And this is a great opportunity to take all the experts around the world, bring them to San Diego, and share the science and conservation as it relates to flamingos and other ecosystems.
The Andean flamingos from Central America are the most threatened of the 6 flamingo species. Zoo and aquarium planners are being urged to provide more spaces to preserve these colorful birds. San Diego filmmakers have a good track record at the Sundance Film Festival. SDSU graduate Destin Creighton scored twice with I Am Not a Hipster and Short Term 12. Now, KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando checks in with an East County resident preparing to submit his film to Sundance.
I will pop open my calendar here and tell you exactly how long I have left. I have 4 days 1, 2, 3, 4 days until it has to be at the Sundance office in LA.
For independent filmmakers like Jesse Keller, Sundance is the holy grail.
It's the gold standard of film festivals, and getting into that would be such a great jump up to the next level for a little film like ours.
The film is The Thane of East County. It's about a modern-day theater company in San Diego doing a production of Macbeth when the actors' lives start to mirror those of the characters.
I basically thought, like, who better to rip off than Shakespeare? Like, you really can't go wrong.
Hail, Thane of Fife.
Thane of Glamis, maybe?
Hail, Thane of Fife.
Yeah, you know that's not the line, right? All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
Glamis. Cawdor. King.
I'm playing...
Keller's been editing 8 to 12 hours a day since shooting wrapped on August 22nd in order to meet the Sundance deadline. His first cut is done, and he's laying in music he composed.
Putting in music is such a sense of relief because, like, you set everything up, and with no music, everything feels so much slower in a movie. So once you get that first assembly on the timeline and you watch it, you're like, oh gosh, is this going to be too slow? Is this not going to work? But then you put in the music, like, oh, that's right, yeah, it is totally going to work. This is great.
Hail, hail.
So there is an online upload, or I have to FedEx a DVD. Sundance explicitly forbids filmmakers from showing up at their office.
Keller's plan is to submit the film online on the morning it's due.
There's one website, Without a Box is the film submission website. So Sundance gets, I think they said 10,000 submissions a year. And I'm guessing a hell of a lot of those happen at the last minute. So if, several thousand people are all trying to upload a feature film on the same day, I hope they got the bandwidth for that thing. Otherwise there's going to be some people who are freaking the hell out.
Last Monday at 7 a.m., Keller was one of those people freaking out.
Woke up this morning, it has failed. The upload has failed. So I started again. It starts to upload my 1 gigabyte file, and it gets to about 35 megs and fails again. I go online and look at the help file on the Without a Box's help site, and it turns out that for the last 4 days, people have been having this exact same problem. And there's a lot of very pissed off people that are discovering that their submissions for their films that they've worked on so hard for Sundance, that their submissions are just not going through at all. So I am burning a DVD right now, and I am going to hop in my car and drive up to LA and walk into the Sundance office with it. That's my plan.
As an independent filmmaker, Keller is all too familiar with having to resort to a plan B and to be creative with problem solving. It also helps to have a crew truly invested in the project.
My mom gets an executive producer credit on this thing because she was helping, when we needed an RV, she got us an RV and got it delivered to the location the day we needed it.
Now he just needs to find a way to get the Thane of East County into the Sundance offices.
It is done. It is done. And I didn't even have to drive to LA to do it. I managed to get in touch with someone from the Sundance Institute, and they told me that I could submit it a day late because I am one of a whole ton of people that are having that exact same issue with the online submission process. So, FedExed it. I just dropped it right off at a FedEx location just now, and I'm on my way home. It is all in the hands of Sundance now.
And all Keller can do now is wait to find out if his film will make the cut for the Sundance Festival coming up this January. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
And the 2015 Sundance program will be announced in mid-December. You can see more from the Thane of East County on Beth's Cinema Junkie blog at kpbs.org. There's a chance of rain in our forecast, just a small chance though, and only for part of the county. Coastal temperatures expected in the upper 70s to low 80s for the next few days. Inland valleys also in the 80s, and we may see some showers and thunder possible tomorrow afternoon. Also a chance of thunderstorms for the mountain areas tomorrow with temperatures in the mid-70s. The desert could get 2 days worth of thunderstorms, temperatures there in the low to mid-90s. Let's recap tonight's top stories. Elementary students go back to school in San Ysidro tomorrow, but their teachers may be on strike. Teachers have rejected a contract offer from the district. The two sides are supposed to go back to the bargaining table tomorrow. California is getting a $1 million federal grant to create a new team of anti-meth agents. State Attorney General Kamala Harris says California is the largest point of entry for methamphetamine, with 70% coming through the San Diego port of entry. The new team of 6 special agents will work with existing forces across the state. And the Coast Guard says it's dealt a significant blow to drug trafficking along our coast by seizing 28,000 pounds of cocaine in 18 separate raids. It's valued at more than $400 million. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. You have a great night.